Ever freeze mid sentence because your brain is busy translating instead of speaking? You know exactly what you want to say in your native language, but before the English comes out, your mind hits a traffic jam. You search for words, translate sentence by sentence, panic, hesitate, and suddenly the moment is gone. Here is the truth. Nobody tells English learners. Fluency is not about knowing more words. It's about training your brain to think directly in English. And today I'm going to show you four powerful brain wiring techniques that will help you stop translating forever and start speaking naturally, automatically, and confidently. But don't skip the last technique because it's the most intense one. It forces your brain into English survival mode. And once you try it, your speaking skills may never be the same again. So stay with me. Let's dive into technique number one, label everything. This sounds ridiculously simple, but don't underestimate it. This technique is secretly rewiring your brain behind the scenes. Right now, whenever you see an object around you, your brain takes scenic route, like your brain goes through an extra step. How? You see a chair, like for example, your mind names it in your native language first, then scrambles to translate it into English. That tiny delay, that's the bottleneck destroying your fluency. We need to cut out the middleman completely. So from today onward, start mentally labeling everything around you directly in English. Not translate and speak, just see it and know it, like laptop, curtains, charging cable, ceiling fan, coffee mug. You are creating a direct neural connection between the object and the English word. No mental subtitles, no translation detour. But here's where most learners hit a wall. What if you see something and have absolutely no clue what it's called in English? Do not run back to your native language. That's a slippery slope and it pulls your brain right back into translation mode. Instead, outsmart the problem. How? Describe the object's function entirely in English. For example, instead of translating the word from your language, type something like holds something that holds a phone on a desk, and boom, you discover the phrase. It's a phone holder. That's the magic. You stayed immersed in English the entire time. No crutches, no linguistic back and forth. Your brain starts adapting, improvising, and thinking like a real English speaker. Okay, so explain that word in English and try to find out the real word for that particular thing instead of translating directly from native language into English. Technique number two is be a sports commentator. This one may feel a little silly at first, but trust me, it works like magic. Most English learners freeze because they only speak when it's important. Your brain associates speaking English with pressure, perfection, and panic. We are going to break that pattern. From now on, start narrating your daily actions out loud like you are passionate commentator covering the final seconds of championship. game, any championship game. Turn your ordinary life into live commentary. I'm grabbing my phone. I'm heading to the kitchen. Looks like we are making coffee now. And here comes the most difficult part, finding the charger. It doesn't have to sound polished, it just has to do with the flow because fluency is not built in silence. It's built by getting your tongue, brain used to moving together in real time. And here is the golden rule, throw perfection out the window. Seriously. Stop obsessing over every tense, article, grammar rule. This is not IELTS exam. This is brain training. The goal is to build momentum, not perfection. No filter, no overthinking, no second guessing. Every word, even if your sentences are messy, keep the ball rolling. Because the moment you stop fearing mistake, your English starts sounding alive, natural, and spontaneous. You're teaching your brain a powerful lesson. Everyday action belong to English too, not just classrooms, textbooks, or rehearsed conversations. And eventually, speaking English won't feel like performing anymore. It becomes a natural part of you. It's like you feel as natural thinking out loud. Now let's unlock technique number three, learn chunks, not words. And this one is a game changer for sounding fluent instead of robotic. Here's the most learners never notice. When you learn English word by word, your speech becomes broken, almost like a machine loading one file at a time. Pause, search, resemble, speak. That's why it feels slow, hesitant, and unnatural. But fluent speakers don't build sentences from scratch every time. They don't construct English, they retrieve it in ready made pieces. So instead of memorizing isolated words, start learning chunks, pre built language blocks that naturally stick together. Think of them as linguistic shortcuts your brain can pull out instantly. For example, don't just learn the word decision. Train your brain to store complete natural combination. Like, for example, make a big decision, reach a crucial decision. It was a tough decision to make. Now your brain isn't assembling words like puzzle pieces under pressure. It's grabbing ready-made phrases in one go. And that's where the magic happens. Your speech becomes smoother, faster, more automatic because you no longer fishing for words. You are pulling out entire phrase like a well-organized mental toolbox. This is what fluency really is. Not thinking harder, but retrieving smarter. Because once you start thinking in chunks instead of words, your English stops sounding translated and starts sounding alive. So always remember things in chunks. Finally, let's talk about technique number four, the sink or swim method. And this one is not gentle, it's a full mental reset. If you really want to push your brain out of its comfort zone, you have to create what I call productive discomfort. That slightly mental pressure that forces adaptation. Because here is the truth, fluency doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in challenge. So here is your mission, go into your phone, laptop, tablet settings right now and switch everything to English. Yes, everything around you. At first, it may feel like stepping into unfamiliar territory, but don't panic. This is exactly the point. This is a psychological hack that forces your brain into immersion mode. Why? Because you already know where everything is by muscle memory. You don't need translation anymore. You just need recognition. Now, suddenly, every button, every menu, every notification becomes an English input. And without even realizing it, your brain starts adapting on the fly. No dictionary, no native language backup, no escape route. You are essentially building a mini English ecosystem around yourself. And that's when the shift happens. English stops being something you study and starts becoming something you live in. Now tell me, which technique are you really going to do or try first? Will you label your surroundings, turn your daily life into live commentary, or go all in hand, change your phone into English mode? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this hit home, hit subscribe, because we are not just learning English. Here we are rewiring how you think in it. See you in the next one.